What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Maxwell LeVan podcast. I have to say, I am sorry that this has kind of been such an inconsistency. Every time I do it, I say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep it going," and every time I do that, I say I'm gonna keep that going. But I'm not gonna apologize because you know what? I'm not gonna take up the whole episode talking about how I don't make podcasts. Instead, I'm just gonna make a podcast. So thank you for being here. I appreciate all the love and support that I've gotten just across the media lately and just across everything. I've felt really blessed, really grateful. I'm gonna be honest though. What sparked me saying, okay, you know what, I'm gonna just do it, make a podcast, is because I Googled myself today, and okay, that sounds a little sociopathic, but anybody who is had any sort of like public attention or anything like that. And I mean, not even on a big scale, right? But if you're just a dude like me who's made a couple big videos and just done a couple things, you're gonna want to know if people talk about you, right? I mean, a couple people, like me and a couple of my friends and stuff, have Google alerts on. So anytime my my Google just went off, I have to be quiet because I have the Google Home Mini. So whenever I talk, shout out YouTube, by the way, for giving me a free Google Home Mini. But anytime I say the word Google, it goes off, which is kind of weird. So anytime I'm talking to my friend and it comes up in conversation, now they're listening to the conversation, which is a little disarming. But anyways, I was searching for myself on the internet, and the first things were all my podcasts, and I was like, wait. I just got published in a bunch of news articles for videos I made, and we were literally on Kenya's biggest news site homepage for like 2 days, talking about a TikTok. We'll get into that later because that was a whole story on its own. But I saw Maxwell LeVan Show, Maxwell LeVan podcast, like on search at the top, and I was like, why do podcasts rank higher than anything else? And so here we are making a podcast to satisfy, I guess, the high search volume for the podcast, which has had some, I'd like to say, less than mediocre episodes and statistics in the past. But we're here, and hopefully you guys are listening to this. But I do want to dive into this a little bit because I thought this was, I don't think funny is the word, because it was really uncomfortable to read and to know that this is permanently on the internet and I can't do anything about it. That's the other misconception, is you make the kind of videos you want to make, you produce the kind of content you want to produce, and how the world reacts to that is out of your control. I made a video over the summer, I think May. We were downstairs just hanging out one morning. This was, COVID was already in full effect, so we were at home safely, and my little brother Frank was downstairs we were playing with Nerf guns, right? And what I found out to be a very rare Nerf gun that like 10,000 people commented that they wanted, so I'm going to give away the Nerf gun we used when I hit 100,000 on TikTok. And then we'll probably just buy the exact thing because Frank really likes the gun, but I want to give it away. So we'll just have two. But I said, yo, I have an idea, Frank. This will go viral. Turn around and just be like hanging out, and I'll say, hey, Frank, do you want to get shot in the foot or the head with this Nerf gun? And you'll say foot, like any reasonable person. And then I'll shoot you in the head. And the video will end there, like a Vine, just 6 seconds, Vine energy. And we did it. And I posted it, and it didn't go crazy. It got, I think, 100,000 views in a day, in half a day. Went to sleep, woke up, 250,000 views. I think I vlogged about this. I documented the whole 48 hours really of explosion. And it was at, I think, 3-4 million views within a day. And, blew up our followers, all our stuff. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And now I think it's at 5 million. But news articles started coming out about it, and it was on sports news places and sports news, and I forget which ones exactly, like on Instagram and stuff. I don't think World Star would post it, but stuff of that extreme. That was pretty extreme. I was like, wow, and these videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views outside of the original on TikTok. So the video's probably been seen maybe 8 million times, right? Just from everything combined. But a few weeks ago, Kenya's biggest news source, apparently, to my knowledge, posted an article called "He Shot His Brother for a TikTok." And the picture, the home picture was not a video of the TikTok or a picture of me or anything like that. It was a picture of a brick wall with the word murder on it. The word murder written in blood on the wall. I said, wait. Well, I got the alert. And I was like, wait, so maybe mine was like in the recommended, like to read next, right? Because this guy must have actually shot his brother for TikTok. Like, I'm curious to see that, right? Because it didn't say anything about a Nerf gun in the article, right? The title said he shot his brother for TikTok, and the thumbnail picture was the word murder. I was like, wow, what's going on in Kenya? Let me read this. And it said, the first thing was, Maxwell LeVan has grabbed the attentions. I was like, oh no, this is about the video. Only in the last paragraph did they mention that it was a Nerf gun. I was like, oh boy. So now Kenya thinks I murdered somebody. So, sorry to any fans. I think probably all two of you guys that live in Kenya. I'm never going to visit you guys. I don't want to be ripped apart limb by limb in the streets for killing my brother. But I made light of it, right? I posted it on my Snapchat. I was like, yo, guys, apparently I'm a murderer now. LOL. I don't know what kind of humor that is, really. I'm very sorry to be insensitive about murder. But that's just the thing is, right? People will twist or do whatever. And this is a lighthearted, I mean, because I didn't do anything wrong, I don't think. But there was some criticism because people were talking about, oh, that's going to cause trust issues and that's betrayal. You can't betray your blood and stuff like that. And I clarified, right? I made videos to the same effect, like multiple times, right? So it should be clear to anybody that it was no malintentions. Frank's fine. Literally the caption of the video was, he's fine, because it was all fake and it was scripted, and that's what you have to do sometimes. And I've made my fair share of real videos too, but like, come on, sometimes it's the ones that you have to script because those are the ones that blow up. But I'm saying the gist of this whole thing, I'm trying to say, this is a really long way to say this, is people, who doesn't want to go viral and have their videos be seen by a ton of people and get a bunch of traction and get a bunch of eyeballs and news articles, right? But what we don't think about, and what I definitely didn't think about before, is you don't know how people are going to interpret things. I can't respond to every single person that questions it. Right? I'm sure people out there still think that I betrayed him and that I'm an awful person for shooting my brother in the head with a Nerf gun after I promised him I should, right? Even dumb, lighthearted stuff like that. So I can't even imagine what like A-listers have to deal with when they tweet something or post a funny video, right? I'm just the TikTok magic kid. Like I could care less what you think about me. There's a lot of misconceptions. People don't realize what they're signing up for when they put themselves out there. And that video's out there forever. Right, it's been downloaded and saved thousands of times. Everybody has it on their phones. Like, it's not something that I can just be like, oh, that was dumb. Let me make it go away forever. As soon as you post something, it's out. I don't mean to sound like your mom or your dad who says that, oh, once you post something, it's out, so be careful. No, I mean, I don't care. I've posted hundreds of stupid videos that I don't care if they're out there. If I'm not really worried that I'm gonna have to go sit on a board in front of like a job interview for some business and they're going to look at my social media accounts if I play the cards right. Right now, if I majorly mess up and every single thing I have going on right now crashes, well, maybe I'll regret it. Maybe I'll have some regrets in life. But if I just keep doing what I'm doing, keep grinding, I won't have to work for anybody. Won't have to worry about it. If anything, those videos and those numbers that I'm pulling will only help me, like when a brand looks at me. Like I just did a deal with Curology 2 days ago. The skincare, they send me products every couple of months, just for free, like medically prescribed stuff. They get my information and they send me stuff and I talk about it and boom, done deal, closed. That's easy stuff. I was sponsored by Bang for a little while, the energy drink. That kind of didn't really work out entirely, but still, I mean, it's cool that me being dumb and just having fun and making light of the time we're in. Well, not making light of the time we're in, but just making fun out of it, right? And just encouraging people to stay home and shoot your brother with a Nerf gun instead of going out. I'm not posting videos of me going out partying and all that stuff. Brands like that apparently, and it's such a weird time we're in, right? Because you do hear adults talking about, oh, you know what, these TikTokers, these YouTubers are just, they're so annoying. What people need to start accepting that is the new generation. This is it. It's not going to go back. It's not going to go away. We're not going to all go be doctors and lawyers now. If you can make 10 times what the doctors and lawyers are making at home or in a studio, recording either your voice or your face or somebody else's voice or their face, why would we not do that? And that's something that we actually enjoy and we have fun with, and it doesn't take years of education and dumping out money that's going to take your whole life to pay off. If I can get a 4-year head start from everybody that's going to college by doing what I want to do, just at a higher scale, right? Because right now I can't take it to the 100% because I do have school and I have work that I have to do and I have stuff. But think about next summer when I'm out of high school for 4 years, I have a 4-year gap basically where by societal standards I don't have to have myself 100% figured out. So if I happen to make it in that time or have some wins or have some successes, that's cool. But also think of it like this, and this is the analogy I've given some people in my life that have questioned what I'm going to do or how I'm going to go about doing it. In school, you either pass or you fail. That's pretty straightforward. You either go to school, you show up, you do the work, and you pass, or you don't and you fail, and you don't get the degree, and that's it. And then you, in essence, you have failed. Right? It doesn't mean you're a failure, but it means in that specific thing you have failed. When it comes to being an online creator or doing magic professionally, there's not really a point where you can say, oh, I've passed, I've succeeded, or you can say I've failed. A lot of successful people will not admit that they have reached their peak or, that's as good as it's going to get. And people who haven't made it yet or are still, struggling to get off the ground, they're not going to say they failed. They're going to say they haven't even started. So if I'm 17 right now, right? If I work my butt off for the next decade and do everything I want to do and forget society and I'm just going to do what I want to do and I end up failing by everybody else's terms and, I'm still nowhere, guess what? I'm 27. And I've tried what I loved for 10 years and failed, which, right, that's not very likely. If you put in a decade into something that you really love, I'm sure you're going to get somewhere with it if you're good at it. Right? Be yourself. Gary Vaynerchuk said this. Be yourself unless you suck. And he's very right. And that's the brutal, honest truth. Don't do something that you just because you really think that you want it. You have to be good at it too. You can't just say, oh, I want to be the best YouTuber in the world and then just have no personality or anything. But what I was saying is, anyway, like if I try for 10 years and I fail, I'm 27, I'm still I'm an adult, but I'm a young adult. You don't have to have your life figured out ever, really. You don't have to ever. I mean, there's no point where it's like, well, I failed. Unless you let yourself. If I want to be an entrepreneur and I make businesses and they keep failing, they keep going bankrupt, and I just say, you know what, I quit. Okay, well then, yeah, you cut your losses and you say, you know what, I tried to, you'll tell stories that, yeah, I tried to be a businessman, I failed. But if you're the businessman and you just know that that's for you and that's what you want to do with your life, and you keep failing, you say, well, I'm not going to let myself fail because failure is not really an option. This is all I have. I didn't go to the school that my parents wanted me to go to. I didn't get the job they wanted me to do. I trusted myself more than anybody else trusted me. I invested in myself, and I'm ready to make it work. And you keep going, You know that famous picture? Oh, I don't know if it's famous. It's pretty new. It's like a cartoon of the mine, and there's a guy on the top, and he's mining, and he's still going. And in the bottom, there's a guy, he's turning around walking back after he's dug, and like an inch away from where he dug is where a big cave full of diamonds are. And if he'd just gone a little bit more, he would have reached the diamonds. So there's not really a clear end in this journey of life unless you either die or you give up. If you die and you didn't reach your goals, well, hopefully you had fun doing it, but by people's standards, you would have failed. But for me, I'd have to die to be a failure. Right? That sounds a little morbid and that sounds bad, but I'd have to be on my deathbed and have accomplished nothing I wanted to do. Then I'd be a failure. But just because I'm not Bryce Hall and multi-million dollars by how 21 or whatever. That's not the standard necessarily for everybody's success. If I'm happy and I'm getting brand deals every now and then and I'm just hanging out, living my life, amazing girlfriend, steady life, have I failed? Maybe to everybody else, yeah, he has so much potential. He's not doing anything with it. He hasn't gotten anywhere with it. Maybe I'm just happy for now. I'm allowed to. I think I like to think that I can allow myself sometimes to just have a little bit of a plateau, as we all do. To be honest, let's be honest with ourselves for a second. This is an unprecedented time. You've heard that so many times on the news. This is unprecedented. There's never been anything like this before. It's never happened in the history of the world. That's true. And I think as a world, people wouldn't like to admit it sometimes, but I think during the past 7-8 months, we have come together a lot, and we have, for the most part, stayed home and done our part, and we all realize that this is not a good thing that we're in. At least that, even if people still go out, at least we all know that this is bad, and that we function better as a society when we're with each other and we're able to go out and do things as a family, not have to worry about grandma getting coronavirus and dying. We shouldn't have to not go to church because we don't want to bring COVID home to our elderly family and friends and risk their life. That's not a good thing, not a good position to be put in. But that's where we're at right now. So I think that we all can allow ourselves a little bit of a break, at least just mentally. Like, there's a lot of pressure put on young people to have their life figured out and to make it. Not even, I keep referring to make it and success. I don't mean be famous and go live in LA. I mean make it like get that job that your parents want you to get or that you want to get, or make the travel soccer team, or do stuff like that. Whatever making it is for you in your life. There's a lot of pressure put on us all the time. And the thing is, the unfortunate thing is, because the world stops doesn't mean that time does. We're still getting older, which is, I think, the scary part. I'm about to be 18. I'm about to be an adult, well, in April, right? Time doesn't stop just because the world does. Just because everything that I had going for me kind of came to a screeching halt, as I'm sure it did with a lot of people, it doesn't mean that life is going to say, oh, I know you've had a hard year or however long it's been. Take a year off. It's okay. Like, you have another year to recoup. No, when this is over, guess what? The standard and the expectation goes right back to where it was. So it's not, and now teachers and stuff like that, they've been very graceful and amazing and lenient. But my mental push, and I'm always like, oh, I have a lot going for me. I have a lot of doors open, but I'd like to have some more open. And I'd like to still be able to go out and do more shows and perform, right? I'm a performer. That's what I like to do. I can't perform, but so much here, at my house and stuff. Like, what am I going to do? So it's been very hard. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's been so hard for me. I have it so rough. Okay, I'm healthy. My family's healthy. My life is on the up and up right now, but it's still been difficult. I mean, everybody's allowed to have struggles, and I'm not saying anybody's are bigger or smaller than mine or whatever it is, but I've just it was just unfortunate timing because I got a lot of things starting for me. I was about to have another TV show coming out and be doing magic a lot, and that was my thing. It still is very much so. I'm still practicing. I can't wait to when I come out. When this is over, hang on. When this is over, I'm gonna do so many shows. I'm probably gonna hopefully travel and do magic. Like, this is gonna be a big thing, huge. I'm doing things now that at the start of COVID, I wouldn't even see on TV. Like I've never seen this stuff, let alone know how to do it. So I'm super excited to share that with everybody, and I can't wait for what the Kenya news has to say about my sorcery. They'll probably say I teleported or something, but no, you know what I mean though? You know what I'm trying to say? I hope this makes sense. Kind of tell yourself that, like, I don't know what I can do as just that figure or just that voice literally in your head right now telling you this, but podcasts are weird, especially if you're listening to this like AirPods in. You're just walking around and literally there's just a voice in your head. But just tell yourself, say, hey, take the next couple days, unless you have stuff due or stuff that's like really, but this is going to be detrimental to your future. But just take a little bit of a mental break. Like, do what you have to do, but also go take a nice bubble bath or go on a walk. Go walk the dog. Just do something. And I know there's been a lot of that, and there's been a bunch, but that's kind of been just to fill the time. You know what I mean? Like before, we would relax, and I'd go meditate outside just because I was bored. I had nothing else to do. But now, school's back in session. It's the holiday season. That can be a hard time for a lot of people, myself included, obviously. We need to do these things that we were doing as fillers before. As now, we need to make sure we leave time for that. It used to be a pastime. Now it needs to be a leave time. Like we need to leave time to go on a walk with your family or do something to that effect. Go get food, go pick it up safely, whatever. But we get caught up because I do this too, especially. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to say, okay, I have to do this. Like I gave myself some time with COVID. I gave myself a break. But if I ever want to be anything in life, I need to like grind. I can't let it slip away. Say this happens for another few months and it's a year or 2 years or, God forbid. That would be really bad. That would be unfortunate for everybody. And a lot of people would die and it's not good at all. However, and time won't stop. But the world will keep spinning, and we will come out of it, and it'll be okay. I don't know if we've heard that enough. We've heard a lot in the news of crazy, crazy deaths, cases rising, everything, especially with the election. Oh, it's crazy. It'll be okay. I don't know how cliche that sounds or how much it might not mean to people, but I can assure you, I've been through some pretty tough stuff, and it's like, well, obviously there's no way this will be okay. Like, there's no way I'll ever be able to get through this. Like, surely not. And then you do. So even a global pandemic, it will turn out okay. And even right now, mentally, a lot of people are not okay. And it is completely okay to not be okay. And just allow yourself sometimes to just, if you need to cry, cry. If you need to go hit the punching bag, go do that. Do whatever you need to do to alleviate some of the stress. And then carry on with what you're doing. Work hard, make it happen. This is, for a lot of people, this has been a really beneficial time because now more than ever, especially people that do stuff at home, it's like, well, now you have nothing else, taking up your time. You don't have to go in person. You don't have to drive to work. You can just do it from home. So that's been a blessing for a lot of people, myself included. So I'm getting back on the grind. School's been stressful, but I got it. We got it. I promise, guys, we got it. If you get anything out of this at all, this episode, I want it to be that it's going to be okay. We got this. And that make failure your friend, and you only really fail if you give up. If you're the guy on the bottom that turns around right before he hits the diamonds, that's failing by giving up. If you're the guy at the top that mines and never finds the diamonds, that's not really failing. That's just maybe, you need to take a different approach to what you're doing. So there's no such thing as failure unless you give up or die. Thank you guys for joining and for tuning in to listen to the Maxwell LeVan Show. Again, if this helps people, I will definitely keep it going. I think this helps people more than me talking about whether or not Kim Jong-un is still alive like I have before. So I would appreciate any feedback on iTunes or the podcast app, Spotify, whatever it is. Hit me a message on Instagram, anything, and I will get back to you. Thank you guys seriously for listening to this. Hopefully I didn't go too long, too short. Hopefully this is the right amount of time. I still have some other things that I want to talk about, some crazy stuff in the next episode, which means there will be a next episode. It's just a matter of time. So let me know when you want to hear about it. Thank you guys again. I love you, and take it easy, fam. Peace out.